So setup upgrades are few and far between when it comes to our TVs, but there are a couple ways you can actually make your setups a little bit better. You can get a game console or maybe an Apple TV, and a good way to take this a step further is by introducing some sweet lighting into your setup. For myself, I've had my LG C2 for a bit now, and while I've had lighting previously, I'll be upgrading this to a whole new level. Today, I've got the Lytmi Fantasy 3 sync box for my 55-inch C2 OLED, and I'll be taking you through the unboxing, setup, and review. With HDMI 2.1 ports, 4K 120Hz support, and even up to 8K 60Hz support, I think gamers and movie lovers alike will really dig this. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. On this channel, I talk about gaming, tech, and a few things in between, so if you enjoy the video, be sure to like or subscribe. And if you don't, the next time you turn on your kitchen sink, there will be a spoon waiting to splash you. Alright, so jumping into the unboxing first, the packaging gives us a glimpse of what this product does, as well as what's inside. The one I have here is for a 55-inch TV, which is important since each set you get matches the TV size for the best experience. Inside though, we have the instructions, which I actually did end up reading, and under that you have the Lytmi Fantasy 3 box itself. And pleasantly, it's smaller than I thought something like this would be, and that's definitely a plus. Apart from that, you do have the power supply, the LED strip itself, as well as what feels like a pretty decent quality HDMI 2.1 table. Lastly, there are these cable clips here which you'll definitely want to use when setting up. Now when it comes to setup, it's actually pretty easy. It's just a mix of plugging everything in and setting up your box in the Lytmi app. Starting with the light strip, again, it's sized to fit your TV, so for myself, I just started placing it at the edge, but not too close. In the end, you just need the Type-C of the light strip to end on the side where your HDMIs are. The good thing, unlike most light strips, is that you don't have to bend these all weird at the corners. That can sometimes damage light strips, but there's these specific sections that you can loop and clip into place to continue perfectly. And this is why you need to get the size that you need for your TV. They do offer different sets covering 55-inch TVs all the way up through 90 inches. And now some TVs do have that massive hump on the back, especially if you're working with an OLED, and this didn't really affect my installation, just something to be aware of. Lastly, you just gotta plug everything in, you hook up your TV with the included HDMI 2.1 cable, and connect the USB-C from the light strip to the sync box itself. From there, you just plug in all your devices and you're good to go. In my setup, I have the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and Apple TV. In terms of feature set, this sync box connects directly to your TV and takes that HDMI signal and outputs this beautiful diffused lighting on the back end. This does have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports for all of your devices and 1 HDMI 2.1 to connect your TV itself. The beautiful thing about this is it kind of acts like a 2.1 HDMI splitter all on its own, and these can get rather pricey. All the inputs can be changed in the Lytmi app, which I will talk about later. When it comes down to the light strip itself, this has 72 LEDs per meter, or just over 3 feet. This is what gives it that beautiful look behind your TV. This synced lighting setup does support 4K 120Hz and even up to 8K 60 if you're one of those lucky few with an 8K display. I think what makes this look so damn good is that each light strip is specific to your TV size. Now putting this sync box to use, it's actually super impressive to see how quickly the lighting changes to each frame on your display. Off the bat, I will say my camera doesn't do the colors justice due to white balance changes, but it really does look awesome in person. No matter what game I'm playing, it seems to be instant to what's on screen, and any lag to me is imperceptible. For myself, I find this most badass when playing story-based games, since whatever's on screen just bleeds into your surroundings, especially if you're in a dark room. A great example is Horizon Forbidden West. The way the sky just melts into the back of my TV is awesome, and the colors are actually super accurate. It's badass too, since HDR still functions perfectly. One thing to note though is that if you do have a newer TV like mine, functions like auto low latency mode and VRR are not supported. However, all the games I've tried are locked at a solid 120Hz or 60Hz. Even games like Call of Duty at 120Hz, the colors match every frame it seems, and overall it's an awesome experience. And I can see even if you're rocking an old console or something that doesn't even push huge frames, this is definitely a good addition to any setup. And obviously this will work perfectly with any sort of content that you are watching. One of my go-tos you might have seen many times on this channel is Into the Spider-Verse. And this movie is swapping colors like every half second, so it really showcases how well this sync box keeps up. And even watching slower shows like Ted Lasso look great, and most definitely top cinema like The Avengers. On my Apple TV, HDR is still fully supported, although I did run into some minor issues with Dolby Vision on my Xbox and Apple TV, which is picky even on some TVs alone. For myself, I don't usually see a difference with Dolby Vision, so I'm not too worried about it. I will say too, even during the daytime, the brightness holds up pretty well, so even just having this for ambient modes on your TV is actually pretty nice. Now after setting up the box physically, there's just the application side of things, which gets you up and running in just a few minutes. After connecting to your home Wi-Fi network, you can actually hop right into the app that unlocks a slew of new features. You can do things like change the level of diffusion, swap the lighting between gaming, recreation, or video. I didn't notice any sort of difference between the gaming and recreation modes, but I think the video option is a little bit brighter. Of course, you can change your light brightness to your liking if you don't want things to be a little bit too bright. And at first, when I did set this whole thing up, I was worried you had to manually get up and change the inputs on the box itself, but this is actually all done in the app, which is super useful. Outside of that, you do have two other profiles you can jump into, like music and ambient scenes. I don't think the music syncs with anything, but it sort of just changes the brightness and effects. The ambient mode is a nice to have feature if you are just sitting and chilling, and there are different effects like fire, or an ambient custom color, or this chill reading light. And that just about rounds up my review of the Fantasy 3 sync box from Lytmi. Overall, it's pretty badass considering how well it syncs while gaming or consuming content. And one of the low-key features I really dig is that you can combine 4 HDMI 2.1 devices into one port, which is huge for certain TVs that might only have 1 or 2. But let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Would you be gaming or watching content on here? Anyways, I appreciate you watching till the end. We'll see you in the next video. Till next time.